following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
You can't roll it to this one. You gotta light it. You gotta puff it on this one. You can't even drink Cristal on this one. You gotta drink Cristal. Probably some red wine, little Gaja 9-7. This is for the grown and sexy. Yeah. Can I get my grown man on for one second? I see some ladies tonight that should be hanging with Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Excuse me, miss, what's your name? Can you come hang with me? Possibly. That's right. Can I take you out tonight? You already know what it's hitting for. I got whatever outside and you know what I'm sitting on. 50-50 venture with them S-dots kicking off. Armadale popping now, only bringing them all. Only thing missing is a missus. You ain't even gotta do the dishes. Got 2 dishwashers, got 1 chef, 1 maid. All I need is a partner to play spades with the cards up. All trust. Who else you gonna run with? The truth is us. Only dudes moving units, pimp juice and us.
It's the rock in here.
Maybach outside, got rocks in air. PJs on the runway, young got air. I don't land at an airport, I call it the clearport. Therefore, I don't want to hear more back and forth about who's hottest, young holla.
Excuse me.
I got my Gaja 9-7 on right now. You gotta puff it.
Listen, the lead in this video and that silver dress, I think Sweetie did a recreated version of it not too long ago, a couple years ago. This was a video.
What year was this?
I want to say 2001, 2000, 2002. Okay. Early 2000.
I know it was somewhere in there.
Yep.
Club days.
Man.
My club days.
I just want to love you. All of that. They're all my club days. I definitely was outside.
I was so young.
Outside. You were underage outside?
I think I was 21.
Okay. All right, so just right there,
Yeah.
just getting to
What
it.
year was this again?
He said 2002. So yeah.
21.
Mm-hmm.
It's 21.
21.
Young and tender.
Young and tender.
Mm-hmm. Hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza.
I think you're the one for me.
Yeah, but I didn't. Yeah, I was really young and innocent.
Should get. That's what I'm singing.
Yeah. It was. I waited.
Welcome back in to RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You good over there?
Listen, it gets later. You know, the cough syrup starts to wear off.
Wow.
And now I'm coughing.
You need some tussin.
I had some tussin. That's what's wearing off. Robitussin.
Yeah.
DE. Anyway.
Like my grandma called it tussin.
Tussin.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to be like like some other kind of tussin that you would rub on stuff?
Who knows?
Probably.
When America was pure.
And Tab was the drink.
Oh. My God, a Tab.
Tab soda.
I remember my grandma used to drink those. Yep.
Man. Nasty aftertaste.
I never had one.
It wasn't good. I still drink soda then. Look, you are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580 as we reflect, go down memory lane. Shout out to Andy, always on theme. He played that song for a reason, and the reason was the part that said the only people using units is Pimp Juicing us, right? Because that's what we're going to be talking about this hour. Nelly. You know, we've had a resurgence. We're back in love with Nelly because he and Ashanti reunited, and it feels so good. They might have a little baby in the oven, giving us a little Y2K redo. In a recent interview, he talked about how this current era of hip-hop is not as competitive as when he was out. And he talked about having to go up against artists like Jay, Eminem, Ludacris, the different artists back then. Remember the famous battle between 50 Cent and Kanye West about who was going to drop, who would do more numbers because they were dropping the same day. And I think it was a race to see who would go platinum first. I think who lost? Did M lose? 50 lost, right? Yeah. Kanye won, but it was a battle. It was a different era, a different time. And so Nelly says that hip hop is not as competitive now
or good
as it was then. Andy?
I was just going to say that Kanye obliterated 50 in that battle.
It wasn't close? I thought it was kind of close.
It wasn't close. That was the Curtis album.
Oh, okay.
After the massacre, 50 just plummeted, in my opinion.
Yeah, 50s, I say it all the time. Like there are some the songs that hit, but a lot of 50s music does not travel well. It does not have replay value. It was very in the moment.
I mean, like, I know there's a lot of BMF music or whatever, the Star stuff, his show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, that music is popping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like the first two albums is where it was at with 50.
I mean, and these are facts. These are big facts. But, I think, and we were talking about what Joe Budden said earlier, that I don't know, Trent, if you were in the building yet when we were having this conversation, but I'd love to hear your input of it. Joe Budden says that the music industry, as we once knew it, is dead. It's over. That it's not coming back. Most of the musicians are broke. They're getting their money from, in their 360 deals from other ventures, other avenues. We talked about a lot about how there wasn't a number one hip hop album until maybe June or July of last summer. And that hadn't been the case in 2 decades. So what are your thoughts as far as music as an industry? Because we've also talked about the lack of love some of these artists seem to have for being an artist or performing, and some of the challenges in their live stage shows as well as the music.
I wholeheartedly agree with everything that he says. Artists are just not the same. People do not have the passion for it like they once did. They look at being a musician, not even a musician, they look at being a musical artist, a recording act, as a way to get famous.
Yeah, it's just a hustle.
Yeah, it's not because they're into the art, because they have a passion for it, because they want to do it. So yeah, I agree with them. That's why everything that is being streamed is something old, because it's the last of the quality stuff that was good, which is why I still listen to Pebbles.
Giving them the benefit, huh? Mercedes,
and there's a couple people that's current and new, but for the most part, I'm listening to old stuff because what else is there to listen to?
And you're not alone with that.
Oh,
As
I
mentioned, like 90% of new music streaming and sales is old music old, decades old.
And if you listen to the radio, a lot of the reformatted stations are now playing old music.
There it is, Andy.
One of the reasons why I played that mystical Mariah Carey song earlier, I didn't even know that song existed. But, I was on X, stupid name. Shout out to the homie Avi Bernard. And shout out to DJ Artistic.
Yes, right? We love Artistic.
So he reposted a post from somebody who I'm going to assume was in their 20s. And they pretty much acknowledged how Funkin' for Jamaica, Tom Brown, the original song, how lit the video was, and how they wished that today's music,
felt like that.
You know what I mean? So, Artistic, he pretty much just kind of reposted that. And, of course, people had brought up the Mariah Carey version or the mystical version. But it was just the fact that youth had posted that old record, that Funkin' for Jamaica, and how, they were acknowledging how dope the music was back in the day. And this is somebody who's a youth.
It's the feeling of live instrumentation. You can't beat that, the way that, and just the pure joy in being in the moment.
And people who actually trained to play the instruments and do what they're actually doing and lived for it, people don't do that anymore.
and people really aren't in the moment anymore with anything. Just it's not pure. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. We're going to get into some of these comments because there are a few that I want to talk about in the chat, and we'll listen to what Nelly had to say. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we're going to get to some of these comments in the YouTube chat because we always appreciate them. Lit. Kendi weighed in and let me know, of course, that Kanye crushed 50 Cent.
Because Kanye is superior to not only Beyonce, but also Taylor Swift, in the words of Kendi. Don't ever forget that.
Shout out to Kendi, though. That's my dog. We appreciate you locking in. Renia Black says that the creativity is gone from music. The organic songwriters have given up.
Except for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They're the only ones that can turn out a hit and save the industry.
Still, currently?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hands down.
Okay.
I mean,
what did you think of their last album they put out? It was like a year or so ago.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool for two old dudes from Minneapolis. But you have to think about it, and that's no shade. I'm just saying they've been around they essentially wrote the soundtrack to our lives. They had the early 80s on lock. Climax,
SOS Band,
okay, Janet, New Edition. I mean, Johnny Gill. I mean, you name it. I mean, into Usher, Human League, Mariah Carey. They produce albums on Glitter.
Yes, they do.
So
Justice for Glitter.
They are, in my opinion, and Babyface and L.A. Reid. They're the only people that can save the industry because they've held it for so long and they've had so many hits for so long that no one else can compare to those four guys.
I feel like somebody else could. I don't know who though.
Rodney Jerkins.
I feel like there's some more current people that have put out some things that I appreciate. K.E. Smith says, I've been rediscovering my albums from the 80s and 90s, just pretending I'm still there. The soul is gone from music. I agree.
Yes.
Renia says that I love Funkin' for Jamaica. Eternal classic hit. Long version, too. Roller skate music, Saturday morning cleanup music, bumping in the park music. It is definitely a bop. DJ Black 909, shout out to you. We've missed you. For the record, Kanye bought store loads of the Graduation album to increase the numbers of his sales. Despite that, Curtis has sold more copies than Graduation worldwide. Ooh, we got a 50 Cent Kanye battle in 2024.
Well, there it is.
Whoop. Renia Black says, seen Kanye live. He was awesome. Kanye is good in concert.
I saw him in concert once in D.C.
I think it depends, though, which Kanye you get, because Kanye is someone who, like, you know, Beyonce goes through eras.
I got him in the 808 and Heartbreak era.
I think I did, too.
That was a weird tour.
I went, is that the one where Kendrick Lamar opened? And he had the wolf stage?
Yes, that was,
and
oh
cut
my
that
God.
Tour short, right?
That was such, when Kendrick, I was like, I have to see Kendrick in like a smaller setting because I was like, this dude. But when Kanye came on, I was like, we've got to get up and go because it was just way too
And he
weird.
had the wolves with the red
and
eyes
all the
coming through the set.
Turning the one way. It was a mess.
Yeah, I definitely went to that show. And it was, you know, it was interesting.
Wow, my DC days, they were so fun.
Shout out to Renia Black. She said Jamaica Funk and the like is cookout music, and she's shouting out Kanye's Jesus Walk days. I mean, I do think that it is hard because you think about, we talked about, I guess that was last summer, Drake has dropped like 12 albums, right? And Drake has been out for, what, about 15, 16 years now? Something like that.
I always equate Drake to my time in D.C. because I was listening to that heavy.
Heartbreak Drake.
I forgot what song. It was whatever, it was Take Care Drake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early Drake. So,
yeah.
But you think about that, and you think about how many solo albums Michael Jackson put out, you know, much less. And it is one, the music cycle rolls faster. It is easier to get out content now, yada, 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 all the things that we have said. But it also means that they're just putting out whatever feels good in the moment instead of it being crafted and really, you know.
All the songs sound the same.
They do. And they all sound rushed. Like you could tell, oh, okay, he's in this beat mode.
Yeah, they all sound the same. And none of them have their own style.
So let's hear what Nelly had to say about competition in the 2000s.
I put out songs, I had to go against DMX, Eminem, Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda. All of us are fighting for one spot.
That's a roster.
So from 99 to like 2008, 10, it's the hardest era ever to get records.
Just play that. So, I mean, I would have to agree because you think about it at the TRL era.
Oh my God, Carson Daly.
Right. That is when we had $1 million, $2 million music video budgets and things like that. I feel like, you know, right before LimeWire peaked out.
What a time.
It was a pivotal time in the music industry. And it was like, I think we watched hip hop build in the 90s to take over and become the main art form. They kept trying to push us aside. I talked about how MTV in 98 was like, hip hop is dead. Dance music, house music is what's next. Bypassed it. Then in the early 2000s, rap is dead. Reggaeton is where it's at.
No,
it
it's
didn't
not.
happen. So, I think he is exactly right. Just the way the industry is set up and the competition. We still had, I know that there is an appreciation for the lack of gatekeepers and the ease with which people can get through and more talent can get through. But with that also means the quality control barriers are lower.
Yes, I was going to say the quality of it is just
not the same.
Everything is just city girls.
City girls, Andy.
I hear Nelly, but I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
To me, I can't even say that a particular era was stronger than the other. First off, he needs to take Lil Wayne off of that list. He mentioned Lil Wayne. Real talk, Nelly's range or whatever.
You think Lil Wayne was like 2005 and up
after,
through the two? Yeah,
after.
I see that.
Nelly's reign was from 2000 to 04, and I'm stretching that.
I feel that.
Okay.
I understand
First
that.
two albums.
Yes.
With that Sweat and Suit album, I'm sorry, Nelly, you was done after that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that was gimmicky. He was trying to get his country walk side on before it was popular.
Yeah, so really, if you want to talk about who his competitors was, yeah, Eminem for sure. But Nelly brought something different to the game to where he stood out.
He put the Midwest on the map.
You know what I mean? So I don't even look at Nelly like he was competing with these cats. Now, folks that was competing during that time being Jay-Z and Nas. You know what I'm saying? Because it was who was the king of New York. They had the takeover in the ethers. You feel me? Ludacris for sure. Because Nelly and Ludacris came at the same time. I was a Ludacris guy. But then again, think about the 90s. And everybody, the competition in the 90s. I don't know, Nelly.
I see the reason why I agree with that point is because one, again, TRL was coming into all the little white kids' living rooms, and they were competing for spots on that chart. I remember because he left off Ja Rule, and I know y'all gonna clown
That's
me, but
another
Ja
one.
Rule should be included in that period because he definitely was running Murder Inc., MTV at that time period everywhere. Holla, holla. All of the hits
For
with
a
Mo
few
and
years,
everything.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
During this time period,
Yeah.
he definitely was. He was, So shout out to DJ Gigi Sweet. I love when she stops through. She mentioned Snoop Dogg, Juvenile, Cash Money era, which
90s,
is like
yes.
the, late 99, 2000 and so forth. DJ Black 909 says Lil Wayne's reign was 2004 to 2008. No
100%.
Limit had some of that. Renia Black agrees with you, Trent. I think that what made it special was that, again, we were peaking as far as taking over the pop side. The money was starting to get different. Mm-hmm. We were starting to see artists expand as far as, everybody had a label at that time. That was one of the vanity things that you got
No Limit label.
being a rap superstar. You got the vanity deal and did the A&R work for these labels like, oh, they got friends. Oh, they know the streets like this association. And the one girl in the crew, oh, we're rolling with that.
Yeah.
Everybody had the first lady of, whether it was Murder Inc., Rough Riders, Death Row, whatever the, bad boy, everybody had a first lady. So I think that it was an interesting era because the economics of it changed so much. Video budgets changed so much. They were getting access to things that before were reserved for pop stars. And there very much was a difference. As I told you, I worked in urban PR at the time, and then I worked in general, like across the board. So, it was either the Rap-A-Lot stuff or it was Spice Girls, Mariah, Janet, Mick Jagger, etc.
Girls.
Spice Girls. Let me tell you, Spice Girls and Mel B, they were big.
Mm-hmm.
Andy?
I think it's subjective. As far as competition goes, I think hip-hop, period. You could even talk about, when hip-hop was born in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, trying to, fight for position. Who was the man? Was it Rakim? Was it Kool Moe Dee? Was it LL? You know what I'm saying?
But I think the reason why it's different is because chart positioning was more secured in this era. It was more important, and the money was changing.
Did he specify the tours, money? What was his reasoning behind it?
He was talking about what they were battling for as far as chart positions or whatever. But the reason why that was important was because that was money. That was what type of assets are the labels going to throw behind you? Are you just going to get the urban department, or are you going to get some of this rock pop money too? Are your video budgets going to go up? What type of what type of release support are we going to get behind you as? Trust and believe. There was a difference between when something was released that was just urban or black music or whatever, and something that was released wide as far as the push, the promo dollars, what they were going to spend on those things. So it did matter in that regard.
I don't know if I got that from Nelly's statements. I just think there was a lot of heavyweights that were out at that time, you know what I'm saying? So just being heard amongst that group was probably the competition and the challenge. I don't, all the glitz and glam, the sales and all that other type of stuff. I don't know if that really, ties into what Nelly had to say. I just think it was just a lot of hip hop heavyweights,
Definitely was. It was taking over.
Good talent.
A lot. DJ Black 909 says, to be real, I gotta agree with Nelly. He had to go against DMX, Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda, and none of them sounded the same either. They all had their own individual styles.
And that's why I felt like it wasn't much competition. For Nelly, Nelly was a new booty cat with a different sound. He was over here. He was over there.
He put the Midwest on the map. We weren't talking about them. It was,
exactly.
All of a sudden it was about St. Louis and Midwest swang and his little slang, got Nike's attentions with the Air Force One. I will tell you what, I did not know what an Air Force One was until Nelly dropped that song. And I started working at Nike a couple of years later. I was like, so which one is the Air Force One?
Really?
Facts. Never had one on
Jill,
my foot. What?
You was outside.
I was outside and did not know what an Air Force One was.
You probably wasn't a sneaker type person.
So at that point in time, what was I wearing? When I was a kid, I wore Nike Cortez, like everybody, the blue and yellow ones.
Gangsta.
The OGs, right? Or the blue and white ones. Or the all white, but
what
my
about
shoe
all black?
choice.
You didn't know all black ones?
I don't know. I didn't wear all black sneakers. That's for felons.
I think the whole Cortez shoe was for thugs and felons, but that's neither here nor there.
But I didn't know what one. I wore like Puma. I was a little over there a little bit. I wore Puma, or I had my DKNY sneakers. I was very heavy.
I wore a lot of
Vans
as a kid.
Definitely wore a lot of Vans.
Wow.
Because that, different things. Look, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is it really?
He don't wife him, he one night some. Now she don't like him, she never met him. Groupies try to take advantage of him, he won't let him, he don't need him. So he treats him like he treats him. Better them than me, she don't agree with him. She's mad at that, he's not having that. So those opposites attract like magnets. She sees more than a Benz wagon, the friends tagging along, the flashy bragging on the song. She gets a glimpse of Sean and she likes that. He two ways her, so she writes back. Smiley faces after all of her phrases.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A voting rights proposal named in honor of a former black congressman from Atlanta is back on the table in Washington. U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock says that a Senate Judiciary Committee will consider the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which brings back some safeguards of the original Voting Rights Act of 1965. Lewis served in office for over 15 terms after his time serving in early efforts to help the civil rights movement. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell says she does not have the keys to that controversial French Quarter apartment. City Council members recently authorized the council's attorney to request an eviction order from a judge. Cantrell, who is black, says it's the French Market Corporation that controls it. Council will vote soon on whether to order the city attorney to start eviction proceedings. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood.
We believe in raising our
Voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Pay paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Strap with the gum bottom. There's something about him, the dirty, that's why I got him. I leave him strapped and laced and come about him. The last person that touched him, I damn shot him.
Now if you look and see lime green forces is kiwi, you couldn't get this color if you had a purse or no genie. You know I keeps it hip hop, mate. Flip-flop. Yeah, my force ones in tip-top. Y'all force one flip-flop.
I like to live into the dish in the khaki and on me green. Pattern leather pin stripe, you should see how I do the string. Size 12 with the strap, red and white with a cardinal cap. All flavors, but it just depend on when and where I'm at.
Don't get me wrong, man. I'm Murphy Lee ain't dumb, man. Cause if that shoe is on that shelf, you should have some, man. You cannot sit up and tell me that you have none, man. You might not have 3 or 4, but you got one, man. I said, give me 2 pearls. I need 2 pearls.
So I can get the stomping in my Air Force One.
Stomping in my Air Force One. Welcome back into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I tell you what, when I worked at Nike during this time period, I would seed footwear to, influencers, sometimes more than not influencers. And definitely during that time, the most requested was an all-white Air Force. I didn't even realize all the differences. There was the gum at the bottom ones, which is just like a, regular non-dyed surface. The white ones, which they were all white all the way through. Crisp. I learned so much. I learned about shoe creasing. I had no clue about that. I didn't pay attention to that. So I learned the ways that people went around to not crease their shoes. I had people tell me that they would dispose of footwear if it got a crease in it. I was like, yo, bad, because we're not refilling like that. Sample size was, 9? 7 for women, 9 for men. 12 was the most requested shoe on average. These are just random things. We were talking about a little bit ago about what Steve Stout had to say about the breakup with Dame Dash and Jay-Z and Rockefeller and so forth. Well, because of social media, Dame has already responded, right?
Oh, God.
And Dame said he needs to learn how to stay out of grown men's business. That's why I had to slap the stuff out of him a few years ago. Good thing I've evolved. So, doesn't that, though, explain right there why what Steve said was right and correct? Doesn't it? It does, right?
But how do you get slapped by another grown man?
I mean, it could happen.
Funny
they said that Diddy smacked Drake.
Slapping box. Well, you know what? Let's don't. No.
I mean, he complimented him. He said Stout I mean, he said Dame is very, very talented and smart, far from stupid, but with an ego through the roof, so there was no working with him. You know, Dame posted the clip to his Instagram, his 1.3 million followers, and was like, this is the reason why I had to smack the stuff out of him a couple years ago, because he's always speaking on other men's business, excuse me. So, you know, I don't know. Dame, he's not wrong, though. You got to relax.
Yeah, he's not. Like, I would have appreciated if Dame Dash would have told me no to my face about my TV show, but that's neither here nor there.
What do you mean?
I submitted my show to him.
Oh. I'm like, wait, what happened? What?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's an interesting guy.
He's great,
that
actually. He's a very cool guy.
He is, but he's also a little aggressive.
Very.
And
New York.
You know, right now, the judge ordered him to sell his shares of Rockefeller Records, $823,000. You know, Jay offered to buy it. He turned it down. So, I don't know. I feel like he is a classic example of getting in your own way. Not that he is not smart, not that he is not talented, not that he didn't have something, but he got in his own way. I don't know. So listen, we talked about K-pop a bit the other day or recently, right? So one K-pop star, her name is Karina, has had to apologize to her fans because her relationship has gone public, right? She's dating an actor named Lee Jae-wook, and she had to issue what has been deemed a groveling apology because fans accused her of betraying them because she has a boyfriend. Now, you know, we talked about in music and groups, like one of the things back in the day is that they would like artists to appear single because that is, you know, keeps fans more connected. The idea, it could possibly be me, they're singing to me or whatever. Well, K-pop takes that stuff very, very seriously. So far, in fact, that they reportedly got a truck and drove it to her agency, right? And it said on a billboard, on an electric billboard, it said, "Is the love given to you by your fans not enough?" What's wrong with these people? And they sent her letters, right? She apologized and said she vowed to heal the wounds that she has inflicted on the fans. She said, "Girl, I apologize for surprising you greatly, promising that I will show you a more mature and hardworking side in the future."
Let me tell y'all something right now. When I become a national talk show host, y'all bet not ever send me nothing like that talking about isn't the love from your fans. No, it's not. I need a warm caress, not from the fans.
Listen, so in both South Korea and Japan, right, they said that personal revelations are tricky to navigate.
Nah.
And just 10 years ago, it was common practice for the agencies for these K-pop groups to ban the new stars from dating or even having a personal cell phone.
So
And
you're a
even-
hostage.
Pretty much. Even now, like,
No
you know,
way.
when they admit to romantic relationships, it's considered a scandal.
No
right?
way.
Last Pink.
A scandal to be in a relationship?
Last
Well, I'm in
August-
all the scandals. All of them. Every single scandal. I'm in it.
They tried to sell them as what they deem romantically obtainable idols.
Nah, bruh. This is out of control. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that movie Swarm.
Who's your favorite?
Who's your favorite artist? Yeah.
Look,
Kill somebody and then go on an eating spree because you didn't say that Janet Jackson was your favorite artist. Are you crazy?
That is
ridiculous. Could you
to
imagine
me.
like beating somebody up because they said they didn't like Janet Jackson? That is crazy. Relax.
Can you imagine Janet having to apologize because she went out on a date?
Girl, if she didn't want to apologize for the nipple flash, she's not apologizing for dating. No, these new fans, they have taken fandom to a level that is just. That's why I'm glad I'm old and I appeal to an older generation, and that my demographic is not anything under 35. Because let one of these crazy fools come to my house or pop up somewhere, child, it's gonna be a crime scene, and I'm gonna be in cuffs. Okay? Because what are you doing?
Listen, when we come forward, we will have more on this topic. I cannot believe that she had to grovel for wanting to date. You don't even go here.
No, that is
all of that and more on the other
too
side.
much.
You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So let me give you a couple of little updates. We're going to close the evening with Jared Carmichael. He has a new reality show that's coming to Max. It drops March 29th, and it promises to be really, really raw, really intense. In the trailer for it, it features scenes of Jared, dealing with his parents. If you've watched any of his comedy routines or anything about him, he discusses how his parents had a really hard time accepting that he was gay and how coming out to them was very
How old is
chaotic. I want to say he's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Mid to late 30s.
See?
Huh?
I'm just putting it in my head like black folks is still not going to be ready for this conversation.
And
I'm not a parent, and I don't think any parent would even if I had kids, I would not like my children being gay.
I mean,
I would have a problem with it.
Why? Because,
Not for like them, but because I know how
because
the
the
world
will treat them.
is how to treat them, and it will be just difficult trying to teach somebody how to navigate that, especially when you want to be real and let them know what to expect and not set them up for failure, because I've walked that path before, you know?
Well, some of the scenes that were featured in the trailer, which was pretty amusing, it featured Jared in the car trying to break down the different types of gay men to his dad. So he was talking about twinks and toinks and that nature, and his dad was just sitting there straight-faced. One yeah.
I would be too, because, I mean, why would you break this down to your dad? Did he ask?
I don't think the dad wanted to know anything about it.
No black man wants to hear that, especially not your daddy.
And then there was another
Some dads
scene
might, yeah, but
because his family was very religious, and
most black families are.
So it was him and his mother, and they were praying, and his mom was still trying to pray the gay away.
I love it. And I love it for the sense that people need to see that, because that is very much reality. It's not my experience. It has been, at a particular portion, but a lot of people still go through that, and it's the reason why it's so crazy, because it's the black community has contributed to DL culture, and they don't understand where it comes from.
Right, the church and the
which is kind of funny. It's like you created it.
I mean, that was a huge topic in the 90s. I think about how many books were about Eric Jerome Dickey. He used to go to my gym.
Eric Jerome Dickey. Yeah. I used to run into him all the time in La Salsa over on Sepulveda.
Prester John in the chat says, he's going back to our music topic. Find somebody with a VHS version of the documentary 24 Hours with Russell Simmons. Lear Cohen was talking hella foul to the majority of his black staff. The latest version has that portion edited out. I'm not surprised by that. And Forensic Account says, I honestly believe artists are afraid of Leor still. Dame still blames Leor for the breakup of Rock. He won't slap him, though. Well, listen, we do jump bad with people we think that we can get away with it with, and whether you think Leor will call the cops and you'll be sitting in a jail cell or whatever,
he'll come adjust you and get you fixed. Yeah.
He's not dealing with that. So make sure you check out the Jared Carmichael thing.
Yeah, I will, because that is something that I would like to see. Maybe sit my mom down with her and force her to watch it.
So, because again, have you watched any of his specials when he talked about, like, he did a story, like his last comedy special was basically a little different. It was more of a storytelling one where he talked about, discussing that with his parents, also dealing with his dad's philandering and things of that nature. So it was, an interesting special.
I know who he is. I haven't watched any of it. Not that I wouldn't. I want to be interested.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, when somebody has a very parallel experience to mine, I don't need to watch it, because
You've already lived it.
I've already lived it. So what am I watching this for? And I already know what is the ins and outs. So
okay.
When I find something and I will support, I like him as a person. I love what he's doing, because it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Here's the other thing, though, that some people have pointed out in the trailer that seems to go along with a lot of the prominent gay celebrities in Hollywood, icons, things of that nature. Because it does show, some new relationships, some relationship things that he's getting into and stepping out there with.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not black men.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
It's hard dating black. I have a different stance, and I feel like, because let me just say this. I'm most always going to date black.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see myself ever dating outside my race. It's like not dating a black person is almost like treason to me. It's like turning my back on myself in a sense. And I wouldn't do that.
But do you think that, I mean, because it is something, you know, we talk a lot about it.
There's something to it for sure.
But really, in our prominent, you know, gay relationships in Hollywood.
Let's be real. Let's just strip the gay out of it for a second. Dating a black man, it comes with complications. Okay, a lot of them. Okay, anybody who's ever dated a black man will tell you that. So, because I know what some of the pitfalls are, some of the things that we have to go through, I have a little bit more empathy and understanding, which is why I deal and date black, because again, I know my own struggle. So who else better to understand me than somebody who is black like me?
I agree. But you know, love who you want to.
Yeah.
We will respect it as long as you don't say nothing
What is it? You like it, I love it.
You like it, I love it.
That right there.
Absolutely. All right, and one more little dating ditty before we wrap things up.
Not dating Diddy.
No, not dating
Diddy.
Diddy.
Oh, my God. Not Young Miami.
What's Young Miami? Anyway, I wonder if we'll ever see her reality show. Probably not.
Probably no, because you know what? First of all, she's a scammer, and she's already made that very clear. I'm not a rapper. I'm a scammer. So you take that for what you know. Clearly, she's on payroll. Clearly, she's not talking. Clearly, she's in on it because you're bringing your cousin to the party too. So,
We'll see.
Yeah.
Chop, chop.
All right.
So Cedric the Entertainer was on $1 Million Worth of Game, and we talked about him saying, you know, not giving up. People give up their power too quickly in the industry to people they think that know better and not respect themselves. But he also talked about the ability to attract women because he had swag, he could dress good, and he could make them laugh. He said that a good sense of humor goes a long way. Even if he's not the most attractive one, if you got him, if you can get them laughing, you can get them laughing out their panties. Do you find that true for you in your relationships?
Well, I don't think I'm unattractive, so yes, a sense of humor does help a lot. People love it. Yeah, definitely. It's one of my better traits.
I mean, I think in general, though, with most people, especially for men, I think being able to make people laugh, it is. You know, there are some things that are, you know, an attraction buster, meaning you can get around if they aren't necessarily inclined aesthetically.
Yeah.
You can still tap in and make it go. So shout out to them for doing that. Shout out to the K-pop stars. I don't know how you guys do it.
First of all, why
Go
would
have
you
your
do
own
it?
relationship.
You're a hostage.
Money and fame.
But not
Money
only
and
that,
fame.
it also goes back to culturally, because they're very controlled and restricted and very rigid is what they are as a culture. Can't do this, can't do that. Got all these rules and regulations. So yeah, I get it. I'm not fooling with it.
Listen, thanks VIPs for locking in to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Make sure you hit up Trent Jackson, Trent the Artist at Trent the Artist everywhere. Follow him. Go download his podcast. Make sure that you are tapped in here every night, 9 p.m. to midnight for RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Tap in with us tomorrow night. We love you. Have an amazing night on the other side. The best of KBLA. Have a good night.
We going ultra. Yeah. We going ultra black. I got a toast to that. We don't fold the. We going. Occasion we rose to that. Going postal. We going ultra black. Watching the global change. Hopping the coldest range. Hit boy on the beat. This poster slap. We going ultra black. We going. Rhythm and blues, pop, rock, soul to jazz, to my toes attack. How I look being told, I'm not supposed to brag. Nobody fault, I tell the truth, I know it's facts. We ultra black, gray stone, skin tone, but
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, March 6th. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information